Rising interest rates, high inflation and the economic slowdown have made some small businesses hesitant to invest capital. The Australian Business Growth Fund was established more than 2.5 years ago, and since launching, it's deployed more than $130 million in capital to small and medium-sized businesses looking to invest. The fund is backed by the federal government and the banking sector. I caught up with its managing director, Anthony Healy, a little earlier.
It's a mixed picture. You've got a pretty uncertain economic outlook. So I think founders, entrepreneurs, owners of businesses are a bit uncertain about taking big investment steps when you've got a bit of a clouded outlook. But there are bright pockets in the economy. There are businesses doing well, but overall it's pretty uncertain.
What are the main things that are causing that uncertainty? How big a role is inflation playing? High interest rates? Is it tough to access lending at the moment as well?
Well, I think SME businesses showed real resilience through the COVID period, right? They came through that, particularly those businesses that came through well were resilient, but now they're feeling the pressure of high interest rates, inflation, cost pressures, and actually accessing talent and capability.
Yeah, how difficult is it right now to find staff? We know the unemployment rate is at 3.5%, almost 50-year lows. Is that one of their biggest challenges?
Well, I think it is. Every business we speak to says that one of their biggest challenges is finding skilled talent and employees. I think particularly in areas like advanced engineering, technology, software, some of the more technical kind of professions are hard to source, and they're in demand in Australia.
Okay, you're the head of the Australian Business Growth Fund, established towards the end of 2020, initial investment of about $540 million from the government and banking sector. How's the fund actually been going over that time?
Look, really well. I think we've invested in 8 businesses so far. We've deployed over $130 million of capital, and we've backed some pretty exciting businesses that are disrupting the sectors they're in and solving some of the big problems, frankly, for Australia.
Yeah, what are some of those sectors that you've been looking at?
So we've invested in a business that's in advanced manufacturing, metal manufacturing. They're competing, I guess, with imports from offshore, but they've built a very strong business model. We've invested in a business that's electrifying the mining industry. We've invested in a business that's recycling e-waste for Australia. And we've invested in a business that's transforming aviation in the Kimberley.
If you were a small business, how do you get access potentially to the fund?
Well, we get a lot of referrals. So a lot of our shareholder banks that funded and founded the fund, they refer a lot of businesses. There are advisors in the market referring. We've got a website. We're on LinkedIn. We do get a lot of inquiries on the website as well. And when they see, deal announcements, when we've invested, we get a lot of inquiry from businesses.
Yeah, how stringent is the screening process?
Well, we first of all look at whether it fits our mandate. So does the business turn over between 2 and 100 million? We write cheques between 5 and 15, so it's got to kind of fit that target mandate. And then we look at how strong is the management team? Do they have a sustainable competitive advantage? Do they have strong growth outlook particularly? And are they clear on what they want to use the capital for?
And are you looking to diversify some of the sectors that you're in more broadly?
Yeah, well, I think we're very diverse now. We're in 8 very different sectors already because we are a demand-driven fund. We're not just targeting specific industries. We look for disruptors, innovators in all sorts of industries in Australia.
And what's the size of the fund's capital now?
It's $540 million. So we've raised that. We've deployed 130 so far. So we'll probably take another 3 or 4 years to fully deploy that capital. Then we'll raise more capital and keep going because the capital in the fund is permanent capital.
And let's just go to that metal manufacturing business. So you started early days with their investment, or how does it actually work?
The name of the company is Derwent Industries, and they provide couplings and metal products for the water and oil and gas industries. And we did our due diligence on the business. We're very impressed with the founder, and he's built sovereign manufacturing capability in advanced manufacturing onshore in Australia, which is one of the things that I know the government's really focused on.
And how big a concern for businesses like that is rising costs across the sector and increases in wages as well?
Yeah, well, I think it depends on partly the capital structure of the business. If the business is highly leveraged, they're more vulnerable to cost pressures and higher interest rates. If the business has got a flexible cost structure, that certainly helps. But all businesses are looking at their cost base and saying, what sort of cost base do I need to be fit for purpose to survive what is a tougher time than it was, say, pre-COVID?
It's starting to look like Australia will avoid a recession towards the end of this year and next year, but how positive are you feeling about the future?
I feel very positive about the businesses that we've invested in, and in fact we're seeing more and more businesses coming to us with very ambitious growth plans, and these are businesses that are disrupting industries, solving problems, innovating, and so this entrepreneurial spirit that you see in Australian businesses, I think gives me a lot of optimism for the future.
Anthony Healy, Managing Director of the Australian Business Growth Fund, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks very much.